sticking in deal mode, trying to save money on the things that you need to purchase. So wanting to talk about how do we find deals and know that they are a good price, and how can we locate the coupons that we need. So we don't need to be like coupon heavy, we totally can, but knowing that you have a good deal, that it actually is a discount, is really getting tricky, or it feels tricky, right? Prices are changing almost every time you're in the grocery store. So how in the world do I know what a good price is for an item? Also want to talk about that online too, just so you know how to spot an online deal and be able to tell that it's actually on sale or a discount. So that's where I wanted us to go tonight. We can also go wherever the questions take us. So if you've got questions that are on or off topic, I'm okay with that. Leave your questions in the comments and I will hopefully catch them and be able to answer any questions that you have between myself or my husband, who hangs in the comments too. So as we dive in, last week we talked about getting started, like the basics of saving on your groceries. And the biggest part of that is buying items when they are on sale. Like 50% of your savings, right? Because our goal is to buy it when it's 40% off or more. The bulk of your savings is buying something when it is on sale. So being able to spot that sale, knowing that it's a good price, it's half the game. So that's where I wanted to go. As we dive in, let's start in groceries, but I do want to take it over to online and how you're going to spot those as well. So in terms of grocery items, I do want to say the things that are changing the most right now are not always the meat and potatoes of the world. We're actually seeing the largest increase in soda and cereal. Those two items off the charts in terms of the amount of price increases that we have seen on those items. Cereal is just kind of blowing my mind. The idea of paying, what like this is Publix, buy one, get one, but the idea of paying $7 as the regular price for that box of cereal, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna all eat grits and oatmeal, gruel, before I'm willing to pay full price $7 for a box of cereal. Now, I know this is a buy one, get one sale, and so this is really like $3.54. Maybe that's a little bit better, but cereal and soda, those are the two biggest ones that feel the most painful. There are definitely others in the store too, but those are the ones that are just like eye-opening. A 12-pack of soda for $8? No. So that's an easy one, guys. There are definitely some items that the first thing I could tell you if you're trying to save money, they don't need to be in your budget right now. Sorry, actually, if you don't follow the news, I tend to be a little bit of a news junkie when it comes to the grocery industry, but the price of soda and the price of beer is actually only going to skyrocket because there is a shortage of carbon dioxide. Who would have guessed? But there is, because the carbon dioxide that they use in that industry actually is from a pure natural source. Now, there are some that have created other ways of using carbon dioxide, like off of the process, and they're reusing their own carbon dioxide. That's awesome. But everybody else is having to pay an arm and a leg for CO2. So you never know what's driving up the prices. That is going to keep the soda industry, if we want to, not go to alcohol there, but the soda industry, it's going to keep it high for a while. Well, the easy one there is what's a want and what's a need. And I'm pretty sure soda doesn't come down to helping you make dinner. Now, it may feel like it does, but it doesn't have to be there. Some of you are chiming in other things. Eggs, I agree, Donna Brown. I've seen the prices. Now, we have chickens in the side yard, but seeing the prices that some folks are paying for a dozen eggs, I feel like I need to set up a roadside stand, and I need to make our chickens work a little harder because they're really slacking right now. But eggs and some bacon has been a really expensive one too in the jumps. So let's dive into how do we spot that it actually is on sale or what that sale needs to be. So the best thing that I would encourage you to do is keeping a price list. And honestly, right now, it may feel like you're updating it on a regular basis. As things level out, eventually you're gonna learn maybe where I can get the cheapest item on this, or where my go-to stores might be. I would actually recommend your go-to stores literally being 2 stores. Maybe you narrow this down to where I'm gonna buy house brands from Aldi when I cannot find a deal, or Lidl, and I'm gonna head to this grocery store that is the closest to me for when I can find a deal. And I, hate to break it to you, but the sale typically, especially with a coupon, does beat the Aldi and the Lidl price. I know my Aldi and my Lidl folks, that's hard to imagine, but it is true, and it still holds true even with price increases. So you have that go-to. So an example here, in a world where we're not going in and the prices aren't 50 cents different every single time you go to the store, I've learned that Target, this is Target's Good and Gather, diced tomatoes, regular price, are 55 cents. Now, this isn't my go-to store. I don't normally grab any groceries in Target. That was one of my tips last week, actually. This shouldn't be your go-to store. But a couple times a year, Target gives us a really sweet $10 off any $50 grocery purchase. This needs to be your go-to. I can actually pull out all sorts of Good and Gather house brand items that I specifically grab when Target runs that 10 off 50. That should be your go-to. I know folks like to plug in their coupon deals along with that $10 off, but if I can get house brand products that 55 cents is actually a great price for a can of diced tomatoes, but then you're gonna tell me that if I get a whole bunch of house brand products that are generally a decent price and I get another $10 off, I'm your house brand girl. That's all I'm gonna do with that Target coupon. So for me, that has been kind of learning, okay, I don't regularly go to Aldi or Lidl. There's not one anywhere near me. So Target might be, I can put all this in a pickup order, use my 10 off 50 when they run it. They're not running it this week. Sorry if I've got your hopes up, but it can be a really, really easy one for stocking up on some pantry items that I can't beat that price anywhere. Definitely not right now. The best price we're seeing in the grocery stores with a sale on canned tomatoes, like 75 cents a can. That's a buy one, get one sale. Buy one, get one at $1.50 a can. Thankfully, we don't have to pay that full price very often, but definitely not the 55 cents that I could grab at Target. So it's you knowing a little bit of who has that best price. And right now, a price list is the best way to handle that. So what that looks like for you, there's a few things that you can use to help you build a price list. And the easiest one, honestly, guys, I mentioned this a tiny bit last week, but the easiest one to help you build a price list is the item search that is on Southern Savers. So going through, and maybe you do it by brand. I will tell you, it is truly a search bar here. So if you type in the word ham, you are also going to get a hamburger, because ham is a piece of hamburger. So you do need to think about how you search for something. But let's say that I'm going to go through, what are the typical things that we grab? I'm going to search for some mac and cheese. If I do a search here, I'm going to find all the sales right now on mac and cheese, but I actually could put in a date in the past. We keep 6 months worth of data for you. Now, this may not be pretty, so don't go too far back here because prices are constantly changing. But if you're trying to see, what is the price for a 12-pack of Coke, I can get a really good glimpse either this week of who has the best price or what the price is over the last month for that item. And I'm actually going to plug in a specific brand here. And let's look at every single store, and we're going to hit search for Annie's. I'm going to see every sale we've seen on Annie's mac and cheese and see how low we've gotten it. And actually this I think it's this week still, yes, is the cheapest price that you can grab it at, because it's buy one, get one in Publix. And I don't know if any of you guys have grabbed General Mills products, but we've grabbed quite a few that have coupons on the back of the products. So once you're done with your box of cereal, you're cutting your box of cereal up, but you'll be able to get these for about 69 cents a box. So if this helps, making that little list. I'm not saying of every product you purchase, think of the products that are costing you the most. If I needed to get a few products under control, I needed to know that I had the best price on something, what are those products going to be? It may not be mac and cheese. It may just be the things you're using the most. So in our world, we do a lot of cooking, but it can be my ingredient items. So my canned tomatoes, or my tomato paste, or my olive oil. So searching for some of those things, giving yourself an idea of what the current prices are, so that I know that I do have the best price. Some of it could be that maybe you do have a list of things you're out of. It's a dangerous way to play because they're probably not on sale, but using that item search that I just showed you and seeing where they are on sale, seeing where I can get the best price in town right now. So using a price list that you're making yourself, using the data that is on Southern Savers, if you want to use our item search and search through. For folks that don't live in the Southeast, we may not have your grocery store covered, but we're still covering Target and Walmart. So you probably will see some things pull in. In all honesty, most of what is our largest ticket items, we're not seeing as much of a jump. Tide is actually still $12.99 for the big bottle of Tide. And we've seen paper towels and whatnot maybe jump by $1, but not a ton. So it's still for you learning where's the best place to buy some of these items, or who has the best sale on them. If we're completely out of toilet paper, again, using the item search so that you're getting that best price. I would encourage you folks on household items, most of those need to be Target gift card deals or drugstore deals. That is where you want to purchase your paper goods and your laundry detergent, because they have some crazy good prices once we throw in the gift cards or the rewards. Target gift card deals are very similar to drugstore rewards, basically. Same concept. $10 in extra care bucks is $10 gift card. Just reworded, but the same concept. So, either one I'm okay with, whatever you pick. But that's not necessarily a Publix purchase, a Kroger purchase. They're going to run some occasional sales, but the drugstores or Target is usually going to be a better bet for those household products. So I see a lot of folks mentioning meat. So let's talk meat in particular. And hamburger meat is not showing up. So keep in mind, hamburger meat, the grocery store doesn't call it hamburger. The grocery store is going to call it ground chuck, ground beef. Those are going to be the ways that you probably want to search for that. So the word ground, and then chuck or beef. You could maybe even search for lean if you're going to get really picky, but let's talk meat for a second. So as we're trying to save money on meat, you can have a price list. What I would really say is that you have a price you're not willing to pay more than, and you just go ahead and set that bar. Realize that we can change some of the meals we're eating to use cheaper options. So if you're cooking and you don't care what's for dinner, chicken is way cheaper than beef. Pork is kind of in the middle even. So switching it around, definitely choosing the cheaper option and maybe even the cheaper cut. So for me, lately, meat is whatever is on clearance. And so I mentioned that last week too. Sometimes I'm coming home with a cut of meat that may not be a normal cut. And that actually was the last beef roast that I grabbed. We're Googling it. What are some ways to season this? It's not a typical one that you would put in a pot roast. How are we going to do this? So get a little creative if that's what you need to do. But if I can get the price of that beef half of what I would normally pay for it, that's great. So that's where I encourage you though, still having that what am I willing to pay price, because clearance items, not always a great price. I saw one today in a grocery store, clearance scallops. Now scallops are expensive already, but even on clearance, the package was $20. Am I willing to spend that much money on meat for one meal? That's really what it comes down to, is the price per meal. And yes, if I went to a grocery store, or sorry, I went to a restaurant, that might be a great price, but I'm not serving restaurant meals at home. I have 5 kids. I'm serving you food so that you go to bed and you've had a healthy meal and you're not hungry. But I am not going for 5-star restaurant quality, nor do I have the time for that. I'm looking for a fast meal. Like, I'm never going to do justice to some really expensive cut of meat the way that a really great chef would anyway. So let's go clearance and let's make it delicious. But we don't need to spend more than really we can afford. We need to keep it as cheap as we can. So that's why you're having that price point in your head of what you're not going over per meal, even if that helps. When you think about it, meat that way, not even just in terms of this meat item, but for the whole meal. Am I willing to spend this? Probably not for some of these cuts. So clearance is a go-to for meat. Bulk is a go-to for meat. Cheaper cuts, hands down, an easy one for meat. And then guys, don't forget that there's another section of the store. This isn't one that you may even turn to on a regular basis, but there is canned meat, and I'm not talking Spam. There's canned chicken and there is canned tuna, and they both regularly go on sale. So if you're looking at making a casserole that calls for shredded chicken or tuna, for example, tuna you're going to get canned. You're used to that one, but your canned chicken you may not be used to. And there's so much that you can make with it. Now, the brand that regularly goes on sale for chicken, in case you're curious, is Valley Fresh. So doing a hunt for Valley Fresh or is going to help you to find those. And I would recommend both names if you're going there, because if you put in the word Valley in the item search, you're going to get all the Nature Valley granola bars. But just seeing when was the last time it was on sale in my store. Remember, sales run on about a 6-week cycle. So if you see, hey, it hasn't been on sale in the last month, then it's probably coming back around again. When it does, try it. Just grab a can, or folks in Florida, grab 2. See how that works. Or next time you're in Kroger, maybe you don't even have to do the buy one, get one. You just grab the one that is on sale with a mega event. Try canned chicken. You only have to try it one time. If you hate it, I won't know. I'm not saying it's, the best chicken you've ever had, but it is affordable and amazing to throw into a casserole or a chicken pot pie. You're not even going to notice in the end, probably. Okay. M. Posey, I like your tip. She says you can throw in turkey meat and add Worcestershire sauce, and it picks up the flavor of the beef. Definitely. And Carrie, no, I am not ever going to go for Michelin stars. It's not even on my, if I had all the time in the world, I actually don't think I would even choose to do cooking classes. In case y'all are curious, if I had all the time in the world, I was telling my sister-in-law this recently, I probably would go back to school and I would like to be an official financial planner. So there we go. I may not make amazing meals, but I can help save more money, right? That's always the goal. And Kathy's chiming in and saying Costco's canned chicken is great. And I know I may have missed some questions as we go through too. So if there's some stuff that you're hunting for or you're trying to find some specific deals on, feel free to chime in if I did miss them in the comments, and I will be glad to jump back and go to those items. Okay, so we've jumping around on a few things there, talked about shopping the sales, definitely. And then how do I know that this sale is the best? So some of our stores are making that easy. Some of your stores are using buy one, get one sales as their promotional model. It's 50% off. I don't really have to think about it. My Kroger folks, my Food Lion folks, or Kroger family stores, they own 28 different brands around the country. So if you are in a, King Supers or a City Market, it doesn't matter. If you know that you're in a Kroger-based store, they're running the same sales. So you may not have a Kroger in your area, but the Kroger mega event that I'm covering on Southern Savers, and you come in here and you click on Kroger and you look at that, the digital deals, or you look at whatever is in the 99-cent sale, that same sale is the same sale that is running in a City Market in Durango, Colorado. I can specifically say that because I shopped the City Market in Durango, Colorado this past summer using the Kroger list that was on Southern Savers to quickly spot what the sales were. The only difference for these lists, guys, is the produce and the meat. So if you specifically are, because Kroger is so big, if you're in one of those stores, these lists can still plug in for you. Produce and meat, those sales will be different. They are regional. We deal with that already because we have to sit here and have a meat list for the Southeast and a produce list for the Louisville region. I try to cover the ones in the South. But you can ignore those sections and just cover the grocery sections for your list. So the lists that are on Southern Savers, they are the best price. So if you are sitting there and struggling, how do I know that this is a good price? This is the best price for that item that you're going to see in Kroger this week, or for that brand across the board. That's what we aim for. Use the item search, use the list, use the promotional model in the store to help you spot that. But again, the price list that I mentioned, using the data that is there, you really can put in a date. This you may not enjoy. I guess I'll show you one. Let's go General Mills here. So we're gonna go General Mills cereal, and we'll put in a date from, you can go back further than 6 months if you want. It just won't show you any more data because it kills our servers. So 6 months ago, and it's gonna show you the oldest first. So General Mills cereal, $5.97, and this is the really big box, the 18 to 19 ounce box. And if we were to jump all the way down to this week's Publix ad, which is, it's a tiny box. Let's see if we can find the really big box. Here we go. Last week's Publix ad, General Mills cereal, 18 to 19 ounce, $6.79. That's in my area. For some of you, that may have been a little higher, as high as $7.29. So we've jumped $1 to really $1.50, $2 on that box of cereal in the last 6 months. But you can get this not necessarily to see how bad inflation's been. That's not where we're trying to go. But you can get an idea of A, the current price, or B, the last time it was on sale. So I can see, it was on sale 5 weeks ago. It's about to be back on sale. I can wait for the sale. That's our goal. Sales are every 6 weeks. So how far away am I until it is on sale again? So use this. Right now I have it literally showing every store. So it's a lot of General Mills cereal. I have it showing just the stores in my area, and you can do that too. So if you don't want to see all these stores, you just want to see 2 or 3, check the ones you want. So use the item search. It's helpful. That's why it's there, is to make this as easy as we can. Okay. And we do deal with some, Karen, I know you said for you, the Sicilian pizza was $1 higher. Sometimes we do see the grocery items following some different regional prices as well. But as a whole, the sales are going to be the same, and hopefully the prices are going to line up. Publix, for example, we can literally deal with different buy one, get one prices from one side of town to the other. And the reason for that is that every store, and this is across the board, it's not just Publix, but every store is allowed to have the same chance at profit as another store. And so if this store has a higher rent, it's in a higher cost of living area, then the prices in that store are going to be higher on almost every single item than the prices in the same brand store in a less expensive area to live. So it could be across town in a different part of the city, but it could definitely be different areas. So I may shop Publix buy one, get one deals, but I'm not about to go to the beach and shop Publix buy one, get one deals at a Publix on the beach. That is not going to be pretty. Cost of living there, exceptionally higher, taxes higher, insurance higher, all of it. I'm going to end up paying for that on every single item, because across the board, those stores are allowed the same option, same availability of profit margin, right? And if I had to keep the price the same across all Publixes or all Krogers, then obviously the one by the beach is always going to lose money every single quarter, and they're going to close it. So they can't really do that. So hopefully that helps. That's also why for my folks in Florida, your items cost more for pretty much the whole state of Florida than the Publixes in South Carolina. It isn't necessarily cost of living 100% in Florida, because I grew up there. I know in some little podunk areas of Florida, the cost of living isn't any higher than it is in South Carolina. It's because in Florida, you don't pay individual personal taxes, but businesses do. And business taxes in Florida are kind of through the roof, guys. So that business tax gets passed on to you through the items that you purchase. So in a sense, you're still paying that personal tax, where in South Carolina, business taxes are not as high. So all of that gets leveled out. So when you look anywhere and you try to compare a grocery list across multiple cities, you're never going to find prices to be the same. You may not have wanted to know all that, but now you do. But it can be used in your favor too, because this is where, let's make a segue, shopping online doesn't have that effect. So if I, for example, want to shop on Amazon and grab something in bulk, I'm not going to pay more for that bulk item because I live in Tampa on the beach than I would pay for it here in South Carolina. It is not adjusted to where you live, which is one of the reasons why Amazon has done as well as it's done. Now, I'm not going to say across the board that that's the case. There is one store in particular that does not play this way. And I love Sam's and I love Sam's deals, but there's a reason that Sam's has you plug in what your store is. Because when you shop online for that store, the prices change. You may even be doing a delivery order, but the prices will change based on the store that you put in as your store. So a little tip, if you are going to do a home delivery order, if you have Sam's Plus and you're going to get free shipping, just giving you some options here, you can always come in and set your store to be any store you want. So if you live in an expensive area, then let's shop a different store and have it sent to us, but the prices actually will be lower. Crazy concept. Sometimes the online price is the same across the board, so it doesn't always apply, but if you're looking at getting a few things and you're just curious, just try it. See what it does to the price. If you're doing a curbside pickup or an in-store pickup, you're going to have to pay the in-store price. There's no way to play that game on Sam's. But that is where Sam's and Amazon, for example, not always the same way to compete, because Amazon doesn't make you plug in where you live. The price is always the same when we're shopping bulk. So for Amazon, you might be looking at this like, why in the world should I have this pulled up? I've already pulled up a couple things that I wanted to show you. Those of you who've joined Q&As for a while, you already know this, but this is just a reminder for you. On Amazon, I do want you to know where to go to check a price. And I don't know if this, is in any of our price points, but I pulled this up because today, if we went to the Amazon Today Only deals and we're tempted, Today Only deals are up top, and we're tempted to shop them, I want you to realize a good 90% of what you see isn't actually on sale. So how we're going to be able to spot what is on sale when we're shopping online, first off, is a website called Camel. And I'm going to show it to you. So you're going to pull up something on Amazon. Maybe you're not even shopping on Amazon, by the way. Maybe we're just using Amazon as our price point to compare prices to another online site. But pull up the Amazon site, highlight and copy the URL, and paste it into the top bar on Camel, and hit enter. And it will pull up that item. So this item, for example, is supposedly 23% off today. But when I go to Camel, I can see that in reality, this item was raised to full price for 1 week and then has really always been the lower price that it currently is. So you can call it a sale if you want, but the main price was only put there for 1 week so that it could look like it was on sale. Not really the discount that you want in the end. This guy, which is another Today Only deal, if we all had the market and the budget for a $600 coffee machine, we can pull up this and we can start to see, is it really on sale? Well, turns out the $600 actually used to be its regular price, until, let's see, March of 2020. This is all the data on this machine all the way back to 2013. March of 2020, it went up. COVID, it went up and jumped. And now it comes back to its former regular price every now and then. So it is a discount now, maybe not compared to what you could have done before COVID, but it is a real sale. Now, again, I'm not saying it's in your budget. Don't worry. I'm not going to try to promote it as a deal, but it is technically on sale. So we can kind of analyze that chart that pulls up and we can get an idea. Now, again, the website was camel.com. So this is huge for you in knowing when you spot a deal online, though, because maybe I'm not on Amazon's website. Maybe I'm on Sam's. And I've gone hunting for bulk, some bulk snacks. What can we find? Or, here we go, bulk instant oatmeal. This is a 40 count of Quaker instant oatmeal, which regularly does go on sale on Amazon. I can't say that it's on sale today, but if we were to see it on sale, we would get an idea of whether or not we had a discount. So here, just to compare, I can grab 32 of them for $18 on Amazon with Subscribe and Save, or I can grab 40 of them in Sam's for $12.48. So in this situation, you were shopping on Sam's maybe, and Amazon became your price point. Amazon became your, let me make sure that this, which isn't actually on sale, this is just Sam's regular price for this. I want to make sure I have a decent price. The easiest way to do that is to immediately price it against another website. And when we're shopping bulk and I want to compare it to another site, I need to go to Amazon. There's not really another great source to price the warehouses against, because not every site's going to sell a 40 count box of Quaker or a slightly similar size. So Amazon can be your price point. And then again, here, does it go on sale? I could again take that URL, plug it into Camel, and see, you know what? And again, I was telling you the Subscribe and Save price. So the regular price, which is down here in this corner, $21.48. So that's what Camel's pulling up. But I know right now, I mean, it's kind of on sale, but it's full price. I know back in April, this was regularly more in the $16 to $17 range, and that it just made a huge jump on Amazon. So this Sam's price at $12, maybe it is a great price, and we're looking at like a pre-inflation price on this for Sam's compared to where the prices have gone up. Hopefully that helps. Going a little deep on how you would check for that, but some of these items that you would grab in a grocery store on a regular basis, right now, bulk might actually be a really great source for them. It's going to be a lot of your canned and packaged, but you could potentially get some great prices that you weren't expecting to get because that bulk item, maybe it doesn't move as fast. Sam's might just have a bunch that they're willing to sell at the former price, or we're going to see some sales and some incentives to grab them too from all of the warehouse clubs. Sam's, Costco, BJ's, they all run monthly sales. So following those monthly sales to see what those are. And then again, pricing them, making sure they're a decent price so that you're not missing out on it too. Okay. And Lynn, you know what? You say, I'm not an Amazon Prime member. That's okay, by the way. So you don't have to jump on the Prime circus with Amazon deals. You can still come here and price, just use it as a price point. You can take advantage of some of these things without Prime, by the way. So a lot of the things in terms of sales don't require Prime. And I want to say I have Prime, but I want to say even Subscribe and Save, anybody can technically do. You're just going to need to make sure that you have enough that it's still going to ship inside their shipping requirements for you not having Prime. The one thing that you'll have to watch on Prime is when they're running Prime exclusive sales, or they're running, they're going to run October early days deals. They just announced those dates as being the 11th and 12th of October. You got to be a Prime member to shop those. But beyond that, you're not missing much. If you don't want to be there, you don't have to, but you can definitely use it for price comparison. Okay. Oh, and I see someone asking on printers. So thanks, guys, for helping out for folks that were looking for printer deals. So to kind of move past there and hit a few other things, let's talk some other items that you might be grabbing around the house or even for the holidays to know that you have a decent price on those items. So again, price matching back to Amazon works for name brand items. It's not really going to work when we're looking at clothing items or jackets or something like that, because there are a million knockoffs. So let's say that you've narrowed something down and you're trying to decide, is this the best price that this clothing item is going to hit? I would say even for clothing deals, you can still set kind of a general sale that you will usually be able to see on typical sites. Now, we're not talking like Tory Burch or Coach items here, but our main stores for clothing, for shoes, whatever those items might be, whether that is Kohl's or that is going direct to the brand, you can typically wait and see a sale that is in the 50 to 60% off on most items that you're wanting to grab. And so if you're not seeing that 50 to 60% off, maybe we're only at a 20% off, you're not really there yet for those items. Or I would say if you're looking at a brand that doesn't hit those numbers, you should be looking at other brands, because there are significant discounts that we see on jeans and shirts. And I get it. There might be people in the house that are uber brand focused. That's not right now. And I'm just, talking to the mamas in the room and the dads, if that's the case. We leave the teenagers out of this, if that's who's the difficult ones, or the college kids. This isn't the time to have that focus. And if it is that focus, then we just don't buy new. Sorry, guys. I actually pondered this weekend completely changing the topic after I had set what it was going to be and shared what I was going to do today, to have a topic that was encouraging you guys to just save money for the next month, to, go like basically a no spend September, even though there's only 4 days left in September, but to take that as long as we could, maybe not on the grocery side, but on the other items that you're grabbing. Let's focus on holidays. Let's knock out holiday presents as fast as we can, and then let's stop, because it isn't really looking like it's going to get any better. And what a lot of the economists are saying is that we can expect upwards of 1.2 to what I saw as high as 2.6 million new unemployed by the end of next summer. That's kind of big. That's all just from the federal interest rate hike that came last week, because that increases the cost to borrow money, and that then goes down to employers, and we get all of that. So this is like AP economics, which I have 2 kids taking, all of it boiled down. Not the time to blow money on name brand items that aren't on sale. So a little tiny soapbox there, none of it. You can hit 50 to 60% off, and if you can't, we don't want it. That's where it needs to be. Maybe even setting a price point for yourself. So I just had actually 3 packages show up today of some of it's Christmas and a lot of it's clothes. And it's me shopping the summer clearance. I don't know how many of you guys got in on the sweet Old Navy clearance sale that they ran last week. I was grabbing shirts and shorts for less than $1. I mean, we grabbed things 79 cents. And they'll fit a few different folks in the house. So big bag of clothes. Buying off season for next summer, though living in the South, we're really not quite out of summer weather here. So some of them may start to wear them now. But that's my encouragement. Like, if there are things that they need, that you need, that we go like, let's play a game. Like, how cheap can you get it, right? That needs to be the focus. And we need to have that mentality for a little bit. for a long bit. I would encourage it to be a lifelong mentality, but if it helps you to make it a 1 month mentality and then extend it, that works too, whatever you can mentally handle. But when we're looking online for those items, that needs to be your price point. So 50 to 60% off for those items, so that you are focusing on what is on sale. Okay. Do you have Randall's? I just saw where one that I moved to, but I've never seen it before, Sandy. Sorry. I waited a little bit to get to your question there. I missed it. So Randall's, to my knowledge, is a Kroger affiliate, I want to say. Looking it up. So just to double check on that. So you can just use the Kroger list if that is the case. As we hunt around here, yes, Randall's is a Kroger affiliate. So the sales that they are running should line up with the sales that you have, not the produce and the meat, but everything else. So if they're running a mega event, you're running a mega event. If they're running digital coupon deals, it's the same digital coupon deals, and you'll be fine for those items. Okay. So off topic. I'm okay with that, Lynn. Can you speak on used cars and things that haven't gotten any better since the last time we talked about it? Yes. So cars in general, I can't tell you when or if those prices are going to become any better. I think a lot of us need to sit here and watch our cars tick higher and higher. Mine, we should have a party, right? We should view this as birthdays, not as a negative, but as a positive. Our car probably in the next month is going to hit 150,000 miles. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having a party. I like the car gets its oil changed and can celebrate it. That's on my list this week. That's where we need to be. If you're hunting for cars and car deals, then for you, that needs to also be your mentality while you're hunting. We're looking for quality, potentially as low miles as you can, but the quality brands and the cars that have been well maintained, and you may end up paying kind of what feels like out the nose compared to what you would have paid 2 or 3 years ago. But in the end, that's going to pay off. We're not looking at new. There are new cars that are now hitting lots for some brands, not for all. But for some brands, you're starting to see those lots fill up. That would be one of the worst investments that you could make at this point, to pay that price for a new car. Buying a used car, you're definitely going to get it cheaper than the new, and it's still super expensive. So let's all stick with used, and you want to stick with the used that you can for as long as humanly possible. Remember that buying from a independent seller is cheaper than buying from a dealership. It doesn't always come with the guarantees. Really, that's on you. You can take this to a mechanic. You can spend the time to research the car. It's just whether or not you want to spend the time to research the car, but you will be able to get a slightly cheaper price than you would if you took that and bought it from the dealership. So just to consider that too. I mean, I'm not saying walk away from a, certified, fully lifetime warranty, all of that fun stuff. That is something to factor in for sure. But just to consider it and make sure that you have checked just the personal market on those items, and be willing to extend your search radius. That would be a really big one for a lot of folks. So looking at, instead of right in my town, what's within a couple of hours? What am I willing to make a road trip for? Some friends of ours road tripped 3 hours to get a used, I think it's a Toyota Highlander. It's actually older than my car with 150,000 miles, but it was lower mileage than that. And an older Toyota, it's gonna stand up for a really long time. Well worth the road trip to first go check out the car, but totally with the intention to buy and come home with. You never know what you're gonna find. Cheryl says, I'm scared to buy a used car, afraid it has hidden problems. So Cheryl, that's where you take it to a mechanic and you get them to put it up on a rack and you get them to look at everything underneath it. We've pretty much been used car. I mean, my first car was a 1981 Honda Civic. We were watching a movie recently and I saw one. It's like, that was my first car. We were almost the same age. that car and I. When I got it as a 16, 17-year-old, I don't even remember, that it was maybe even 200,000 miles. So for me, growing up, that's just how cars came. In the end, even if you got a car that was 1 or 2 years old, you are not going to have hidden problems that really that are going to sneak up on you on a younger car, but you're going to save thousands upon thousands over the price of a new car to just look even a couple years older than a brand new car. So I urge you to look at a used car if you can try, please. And M. Posey, great tip. She says, every January I do a no spend month by using gift cards, points, rebates, and food in the freezer. We did that really half of January and most of February in our house this year as prices started to skyrocket. I said, okay, we're not buying anything, and we just ate from what we had. But I bet a lot of us could do that for sure. Just hunkering down and eating from what we have saved up. And Cheryl, Old Navy had half price jeans today. That's one of their favorites. So we'll see Old Navy run jean deals usually every other week sometimes, whether they're half price, whether they're $12 a pair. They run a really great list of sales for Old Navy. Very, very happy with Old Navy deals all the time if I can. And Carl, I love your tip. I am right there with you. So start Christmas shopping now. It makes the sting less by not waiting all the way until December. I would encourage you, start Christmas shopping next January. Have somewhere that you stick them all year long. I have 5 kids, which I think I've already mentioned a couple times here. But for me, I've easily got 3 of those 5 completely knocked out. Now, to my credit, of the 2 that I haven't finished, one of them is really hard to shop for. So sometimes it just becomes books because that's what she loves, and I'm just adding to your library. But working as you see things and putting them away. And some of these for me this year have even been brands I have literally never purchased from before in my lifetime. So my teenagers are getting some Christmas presents from Anthropologie. They don't even get that Anthropologie is a big brand because we don't ever purchase it. But Anthropologie a few weeks ago ran an extra 50% off clearance items. And there were quite a few things that make for very sweet Christmas presents in the $5 range. So yeah, I went to town and tucked them all away. And you should too. So as we're seeing more and more of these brands clearance things out, Target's had some crazy good clearance in the electronics section. So I took my husband through there when we had date night a few weeks ago. I'm like, just tell me what you want. Only the things with the yellow tags would be preferred, but you can. So this isn't just kids. This isn't just clothes. We're seeing a lot of stores still trying to work through inventory. You should take advantage of that and knock out whatever you can. With that, make sure you're keeping a list. So go through it, see what you've got, keep a running list that no one can see, tucked away on your computer somewhere in a note of what you have or who you've handled, who you have left, so that you don't just keep buying unless you're cool with saving some things for birthdays and on, but that we've knocked them out and we're moving on and we're looking for other deals for other people. It's going to help you be a super organized holiday shopper. But the same for birthdays too, knowing that you've already grabbed those items for sure. And the sunny side, you totally beat me. I'm very jealous. She says she's already started wrapping Christmas gifts. That is my goal every year, and I'm still up till midnight on Christmas Eve. So I'm going to try to channel you. I'll be like, this weekend, we're going to sit down and wrap gifts. I think my kids would decide that I've lost my mind, but we should definitely try it. Great question, Luana. What do I think about Ollie's and other warehouse outlets? I love them. I think they're great. Ollie's, Big Lots, all of those, anything that you may have in your area. So this is where it comes to, you still need to use something as your price point to know that you're getting a really great price. So again, using Amazon, and a plug here, honestly, guys, if you have not used or not grabbed the Southern Savers app, this is where I would actually recommend it. It's going to come in handy when you are shopping those stores and using the barcode scanner. It's down in the bottom, and my Android users, it's up in the top, because you can't make anything the same, right? But use the barcode scanner. It's not meant to help you with groceries. It's meant to help you with other items that you're grabbing. So if I'm in an outlet or a clearance store and I'm looking at name brand items, but I want to know if they're a good price, well, if they're a grocery item, use the item search. See how low we're getting this week for that brand. You don't have to go back. You don't need to look at historical data. Just plug in the grocery items brand on the item search. See what the price is. If they're killing it at Ollie's, grab it. If we're looking at other things, if we're looking at, cables for an iPhone, just do a general search for just no brand. But does this price meet what I'm seeing online, or beat it? Because I'm in an outlet clearance store, right? That's going to help you. So if it's not something you regularly purchase, not something you would know off the top of your head whether it was a good price or not, it only takes a second to whip out your phone and look it up in the store and know that you have a really, really great price. Or, I don't really want to grab this. It's not really on clearance, or definitely not as low as I could get it online. Then you don't have to worry about it. Okay. And Carl says you're odd man out. You always buy new and keep them well maintained. If you're still going to get all your miles off of them, Carl, I guess I'm going to allow you guys your new. I would encourage you even to look for the ones that are still a year or two old. You're going to, as long as they're low mileage, you're going to get some great cars there too. But you do have to keep it a really long time. 345,000 miles is a pretty sweet amount of miles for an F-150. So good job. My husband had a crazy old F-150 when we got married. I don't even know how many miles it had. He can chime in on that one. And we ended up having to sell it, but it was a really fun car. It's just what I thought of him for. So yay for super old trucks and getting all that you can out of those old cars. So how am I finding all these clearance deals in the stores? Are they in separate sections or just where they're at? Really great question for Target there, Sharon. So Target clearance is literally right where it's at. Target clearance is not in a separate part of the store. It is specifically in that on that shelf, right where that item would have been, is where you're going to find most of those items. So I can actually share some with you. But as you're walking through the store, this is what it's going to look like in Target. So those yellow tags, a lot of times the clearance and telling you how much they are underneath it, but not every time. So not always going to see that clearance tag. Sometimes, I'm trying to see if there is an example. All of these actually have it. Here we go. Sometimes you're just going to see that yellow tag and knowing, hey, it's a yellow tag. Still, obviously not grabbing everything you see. These were still, to me, I was like, they're cute, but they're still $4.50. I would say $4.50 is a great starting price, and then let's put that on clearance. We get a little picky as to what we're willing to grab, but that's what you're looking for. So this is just literally on the pots and pans aisle with a bunch of fun clearance tags. This particular day, I didn't walk through electronics very much. I was just walking through. I really went in the store for this. I was totally in Target for clearance school items. So this was a few weeks ago. But it does give you an idea. The other place to look in Target in particular is end caps. They have just set aside end caps that are clearance end caps. And you'll get some pretty sweet prices on those items too. So just some favorites. Now the other stores that I mentioned, the Old Navy, the Anthropologie, those were all online deals. And so that's one where I would encourage you to keep up with Southern Savers. Make sure you're getting the daily emails. You don't even have to click on them in the sense, open them up and just skim the titles of the posts if that's what you want to do until you see a store that you like to shop at that's running that extra 50% off clearance or whatever the title may be that catches your eye. If there's nothing there, then close it and open tomorrow's. But I do send out a daily list of everything that we spotted that day. Or if you have a brand you love, signing up for their emails. That's how you're going to know when they're running the really best sales that they're running. Now, once you usually shop from those stores, they're going to ask for your email, so you may already be signed up for them. But you do at least have to skim that section of your email. Can't know if you don't look. So if it's all in that promotions tab of your email, that you're opening up that promotions tab of your email and you're giving it a quick skim so that you know you're not missing some of those really top deals on those online deals. Keep in mind, with clearance deals, 9 times out of 10, a clearance deal is better online than in the store. And the exception in that tip is Target, by the way. Target will clearance some things online, but all of this clearance that we're seeing, like across home and goods and electronics, is really right now, I feel like it's been store by store. Some stores are running it, some stores are not running it. It's based on supply at that store. So Target's the exception to the rule, but most of the time, if there's a clearance deal running, I really do want to shop it online. I'm going to have way more options and sizes available online than I ever will in the store. I feel like, just a general, everyone in the room should say an amen to that on Old Navy. I don't know the last time you attempted to shop Old Navy clearance in the store, but so many of them are shorthanded. The clearance section in Old Navy will, just walking in it, will make your blood pressure go up by 20 points. It looks like a bomb went off in the corner of the store. Things will be just thrown everywhere. There's no order. It's just madness. So shopping Old Navy clearance should never be in the store right now. That is my personal opinion, but I have no doubt that I am not the only one on that. Hands down, you will be happier to shop that online because you immediately know that isn't even available in the sizes that I need, and I can move on. Or I can just sort the clearance by size in the first place. You will be a happier person. So most of the time for me, clothing would be an online purchase. Return it to the store. Pretty sweet. You can do that on almost everything you're grabbing unless they say final sale for some sites. But you can easily walk it into your local Old Navy if it didn't fit and go your happy way, but you didn't have to deal with that crazy clearance corner. Okay. And Belita, great tip. So she says you can always look at the demo models. She got a brand new BMW, $8,000 lower than the new price. I was able to get the vehicle pre-certified with 3 years of free maintenance, and it only had 3,100 miles. So that's a pretty sweet tip. I have not ever been in the market for BMW, but if I ever am, I would like to be able to get that one as well. But the same for any store dealership that is looking at getting rid of this year's model before next year's model comes in, which, by the way, is right now. So 2023s, if they were coming off of ships and trucks, would normally start to arrive in late September, early October. So if anyone wants to use Belita's tip, this could be a great time to find even brand new models that are almost a year old now that the 2023s are supposedly coming out. Again, not all brands have their lines fully up and running. So depending on the dealership, you may not have new models, but some dealerships you would. Okay. And Joyce, how do you get Southern Savers emails? So if you, you know what, we'll stick a link in on the chat. But if you're on Southern Savers 2, it's directly on the top of the website. So you'll see a subscribe and get deals in your inbox button. But we'll stick that link in on the chat boxes for you guys too, so you can subscribe. And I send an email every single day. Open it up. If you're not interested in anything, and close it up. But you at least won't miss any of the top deals that we're running. And we try to follow and keep tabs on most of the big stores that we'd all be hitting, the Old Navys and the Kohl's and the Macy's and the JCPenney's, just whatever they're running on the specific items that you hopefully might need or be looking for. Okay. Luana says it's hard to find clearance more than 30% off at Target anymore because they sell to warehouses. So in our area, I'm not really seeing a lot of 70% off and definitely not 90%. But I am still seeing 50% across the board. I haven't seen 70 in a while. And you're right, they are selling to warehouses and Goodwill. You should never buy new Target items at Goodwill. They cost an arm and a leg, usually more than they cost in Target. But that is where they're going. So I agree with you on that one, on the much higher clearances, but hopefully folks will still be able to find those 50% off marks. Okay. And Jessica's got another tip for folks. Dealerships will typically price match too. I got $10,000 off my car by buying last year's model and price matching. So pretty sweet. Yeah, definitely. If we're trying to compare the same truck and we've got competing dealers in the area, if I get a price at one, the other dealer is going to try to match it. Or trucks that have similar standings. So maybe I'm not comparing the Tundra to a Tundra, but to a competing brand's truck. See if you can get that price match or bring the price down. That's a really great tip. Thank you, Jessica. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off for the night. We'll be back next week. My plan for next week, which is, I'm trying to think of the date, October 3rd. We are going to talk savings. We're also going to talk early, our whole next Amazon Prime event, which will be the 11th and 12th, the very next week. So we'll hit a little bit of that, but we are going to talk increasing your savings and ways to increase your savings as we go into the holidays, ways to get some savings in safely. I know we're seeing a lot of banks now offering in the 3% range for savings accounts, which feels like so 1990s at this point. And we're also seeing it's just a good time to stick some money in some banks. Not a good time to stick money in investments right now, but banks. So we'll talk a little bit about that and some savings options for you. So join me next Monday night, 8:30 Eastern, same time. I'll be back on tomorrow with drugstore deals as well. I'll probably be on actually a little bit early. I'm normally on at 2, but I am having to take a kid to biology class, so probably be on more like 1:45. Just gonna tell you. So if you jump in at 2, you'll jump in 15 minutes late, but that's okay. You can always rewind later if that's the fact, if that time just works better for you. But that way I'm not holding up class either. So thanks for joining me tonight. Hopefully you can catch live tomorrow or catch it after the fact for this week's drugstore deals and all the new month-long deals in Walgreens. It's a good week to catch the drugstore video for sure. And hopefully I'll catch you next Monday night as well. If you've got a topic you want me to cover, please feel free to let me know. Send me a Facebook message or an email. I will be glad to do a Q&A on anything that you would like. So chiming in on something that you're wanting to learn more about in terms of saving money, cutting your grocery budget, any of that, please let me know. So thanks again for joining me. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you again soon.